Hey everyone, it's Mari, and I hope you had an amazing day today. It's actually Monday evening. It's been a long day, big day of meetings for me at school all day today. So, what I'm working on today is I'm working on a 12 by 12 layout, and I took a piece of patterned paper, trying to remember what it is. I think it could be an Amy Tangerine stitched paper. It's the one with the clouds on the back. I can't remember what it's called. And what I did here is I'm just using some watercolors on some packing plastic. It's just some wrap, and I'm just putting that, excuse me, that watercolor onto the layout there. Yeah, I don't know if I mentioned yet that I prepped the paper with some clear gesso. So I don't know, maybe I'm too tired to do this voiceover, but I'm going to do my best. Anyway, so I'm just going to keep adding some different colors there. I've got some papers that I want to use with this that have some kind of pastels in them, but by the time I'm finished the layout, I don't even know if you can see them because I put so much stuff on this layout, and I don't know, sometimes I feel like I overdo it a little bit, but anyways, this is what I did. So I'm just working on creating a background here. And one of the neat things about mixed media is that you can take white paper or some really, basic pattern paper. The pattern on this paper isn't too crazy. It's just got some gray dots on it. The nice thing is that what you can do with mixed media is you can create your own paper. So whatever embellishments you have, all you need is just some basic products to create your own layout, or your own background. So for example, this is a really, really cheap set of Artist Loft watercolor paints from Michaels. And I don't remember what I paid for them, but it wasn't much. And I'm just using a cheap brush there and then just that plastic. So you don't have to spend a lot of money to be able to make your own paper and make it look pretty cool, actually. So that's kind of it's a neat tip for anybody if you're just getting started and you'd like to do some mixed media and you're on a budget. This is one way that you can do it. You get a pretty neat product when you're finished. I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty excited about some of the stuff that I see other people doing and things that I've tried myself. So one of the people that I really like to watch is Missy Cushion-Wooden, who is she's on the design team for the Hip Kit Club, and she really does a fantastic job of mixed media. So if you haven't checked her out yet, you should check out her channel for sure. And she definitely is kind of a master at this stuff. So I love watching her do her layouts. This one has a lot of the elements of some of the ones I've seen her do for sure. So I'm kind of channeling her when I'm doing this background. So now I'm using Heidi Swapp, one of those little Heidi Swapp stencils, and I'm just using some of that paint that we got, I think in the color kit. It's the cracked pistachio, I believe, and just the acrylic dabber, and just putting that on there just to put another layer that's kind of interesting. And it actually does show up, even though I put 4 million different layers of stuff on this layout. So you'll see as we go through, it's quite a process that I do. And I did this video in 2 different chunks. So I'll explain that as we go through. So yeah, I'm just using some splatters and that cellophane and so on, and then the paint just to get the pistachio paint, just to get some different things going on here and make it look kind of interesting. So by the time you're done, it actually seems like it could have been a patterned paper that actually came like that. Another person that I really like to watch is Hannah Lemieux, and she does a really good job of creating the backgrounds. There's so many people that have such good videos to watch on YouTube. It's definitely a place for learners to come, and such as myself, and see lots of different things out there that are happening. So this is just, I'm just taking a Stampin' Up! Stamp and I think it's Summer Sun yellow ink, which just gives it a little bit of a bright, cheery yellow bit in there, which actually does show up even though I put texture paste all over the entire layout. So this is a Crafters Workshop stencil that I'm going to use here, and I'm not kidding, I cover the whole thing with texture paste. So what I like about doing that is that I've always been kind of a subtle person with art. So any of the painting that I've done, one of the things that I've always noticed is that my paintings always really, like, if I was doing shading or anything like that, it would always be really subtle. And I find that same kind of thing happens lots of times with my scrapbooking. I don't know, maybe that'll change, but when you look at this, it doesn't really say subtle. So, but it does, the texture paste does really tame it down quite a bit, which I like that. I like it. It just mutes everything. I know I've seen lots of people put some opaque gesso onto their, layouts once they've, if they're trying to tame something down a little bit, which is another way of doing that too. So anyway, so you can see that creates quite the texture on there. So now this is where the little break happens. So I let that dry, and what I did was I cut out a bunch of circles with my circle punches out of a bunch of different patterned paper, and then I took my sewing machine and I just sewed through those circles. And some of the circles I actually used are of, I'm going to show you here in a bit, are of some paper that I had put circles on with texture paste with yellow for another layout that I did, and I just got that out of my scraps and cut that up too. So that's just the Becky Higgins that I'm going to be using. That's from the Sienna collection from Ellie Studio, the diagonal pink stripe paper that I'm using. And I don't even know if you can really see the Becky Higgins paper on here. Oh, there's those texture paste pieces that I used. I guess where you can see the Becky Higgins paper is on the mat behind the picture. Yeah, it's kind of a really pastel-y color, but it's blue, I think. Can't see it very well, but anyway. So that picture of Bailey and I, I'll talk about it here in a little bit, but it was taken quite a few years ago, and it's just a really nice shot. Actually, my sister took it, and we're in Ottawa, and the guys are down. I remember now. The guys are down at the locks down by the river, and we just weren't even interested in it. So I think we were just kind of standing there, and Bailey just came up and gave me a really nice hug, and my sister snapped a picture. So I love that picture. And so yeah, it is a special moment, and that's what that banner says there. So this is a little bit of craft market stuff mixed in with some, like I said, the Becky Higgins Project Life pad, 6x6 pad there, and a little bit of the Sienna collection, little bits and pieces of everything I think that I had in my stash and from the kits and so on. Just working it all together. Yeah, I'm just going to glue those bits down. So thing with texture paste and any of the mixed media that you might use, it's kind of a bit of a struggle to glue over top of it. And it's important to make sure that you get a really good layer of glue underneath any of those pieces. So I'm just putting some, I think it's quick dry adhesive that I'm putting on there. And that's a Craft Market embellishment there that I'm using, just a die cut. Stick that down with some foam tape, and that's another one of those Craft Market ephemera pieces. Just a die cut with some flowers on it. So really the rest of this layout is just sticking down some embellishments around that mat that I put down there that you could see when this second part of the video started up. And just gonna lay down that ampersand, and I end up putting a title on here that I absolutely hated. And I got it down there, and afterwards, after I quit videotaping, because my battery on my phone was going to die, so I videotape with my iPhone 6, which usually works really well, but at the end of the day, the battery's kind of getting a little bit low, and that's exactly what happened. So I had to finish up off camera, but you'll be able to see on the still shots what I did. So just putting a few more, there's a chipboard piece up there in the top left-hand corner, and a few other little bits and pieces, a little bit of chipboard pieces from the, I think it's the craft market, but not 100% sure. And you can see there I'm just working with that title. So first of all, it says Smitten with Your Love, which was very similar to a title that Missy had used on one of her layouts, and I think maybe it said Smitten with Your Smile. And I really liked the way that that looked on her layout, but she had it spaced and placed on her layout in a way that it just fit perfectly, and I couldn't make that same spacing and so on work with mine. So I struggle with it quite a bit here. You'll watch me try to sort out what I want to do with it, and I'm frustrated. By the time I'm done, I'm just like, oh, why can't I make this look good? And anyways, it just doesn't. I don't like it at all, and I end up taking it off. So you'll be able to see in those still shots what it looks like. So I just feel like I have to use up so much of that stuff in the kits. Like there's so much stuff that needs to be used, and I think I got almost every one of the add-on kits for March and April. So I have so much stuff, and I got both of the kits at the same time. So for May, I ended up just getting the main kit for the Hip Kit Club because I just feel like I still have so much stuff to use up. So I'm trying to do the best that I can. So you can see that I've really done my best on this layout. There's a lot of stuff on here, and I don't mind it when I'm done. Once I have that the title where I want it. The one thing I do like about the way that this title looks is that it moves across the page. There's a lot of flow with it, and when you look at the layout and the way that there is a lot of, your eye is moving around the page a lot already, but I just didn't like, it was just too heavy on the bottom or something. I don't know, I just didn't like it at all. So I simplified it quite a bit. I ended up just putting With Love in the bottom right quadrant there. So now I'm just going to add some black ink splats to the layout. I just took some Speedball and just added a little bit of water to it just to liquefy it a little bit. I find that it just moves a little bit better and flows off your brush a bit better if you do that. And I didn't want it to be like so stark black. Now I'm just taking some of those Maggie Home sequins from the kit, and I'm just trying to use, like I said, I'm trying to use up as much stuff as I can. One of my troubles is that I just don't seem to have enough layouts going to put all this stuff on. But anyways, you can see from the still shots that I end up getting quite a bit of stuff on there. So hopefully you enjoyed this, and if you would leave me a few comments, that would be fantastic. I'd love to hear your thoughts, and have a great day. See you next time. Bye.